The money objection. I need to think about it. Let me speak to my wife. Let me delay this for the next 7 years. If you've been on a sales call in the past week, month, ever in your life, you will have heard one of these objections. And if you're like most closers, you've probably lost a number of deals because of them without you knowing how to truly handle it. I will tell you right now, the reason you're struggling to close has nothing to do with you not having the right script. It has everything to do with you not being able to recognize when objections come up and what objections actually mean. See, most of the time closers will see the objection, find the objection in the discovery and walk straight past it and then get slapped in the face and wonder, where the hell did that come from? I thought we were having a great conversation. Now, myself personally, I've closed over $6 million in high ticket sales over the past 3.5 years. I now actively manage multiple sales teams doing multiple 7 figures every single year. And I've taken a lot of calls, which means I've experienced a lot of objections. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the 4 objections which kill the most deals, and really the 4 objections which any other thing that you get told fall into this bucket. I'm gonna break down why each one comes up, what you missed in the discovery that caused the objection, and how to handle it when it does show up, because you don't wanna be in a position where you're like, oh fuck, I missed it in the discovery, or I guess I'm cooked, let me just book a follow-up. I wanna make it very clear that this is not a script video. This is not something where I'm gonna say, when they say this, because that's not how conversations work. I'm gonna dive deeper into the reasoning and the why as to why people give objections, what to do, and a general framework of how to approach it and how to think about it. So I don't want you just saying words for the sake of it. I want you to understand why you're saying certain things and what impact that's actually gonna have. So let's dive in. So you'll see on my trusty whiteboard over here, we have objections. Now, before I get into each individual objection, I want to give you the single most important frame or mindset in this entire video. Objections do not just randomly pop up in the close post price drop. They come up in the discovery every single time. You, majority of the time, have just missed it. Even something like a think about it, and I'll explain what I mean by that. But just keep that in mind, that all of these objections are created in the discovery. Just because you can pre-handle a bunch of stuff in the discovery does not mean objections will not come up, which is why teaching objections and having an understanding of how to navigate them is so important. But you can mitigate the amount of impact that it will potentially have and relate back to the discovery within your objection handling conversation. Objection number 1, money. Now, the money objection is actually 2 different things. It is fear and logistics. You're gonna have to ignore the fact that my handwriting is that of a 6-year-old, but there's 2 money objections, fear and logistics. They are very, very, very different. And if you confuse the 2, you will be handling the wrong one and you will not close whatever deal if you're going after the wrong thing. Now, what is the difference between the 2? Now, money fear is just any hesitation around actually investing the money. And then money logistics is like they don't actually physically have it, or they would need something to break it down in a more digestible manner. Now, one thing to note, every single objection I go through will always start with this. So we're post price drop in terms of the investment to get you to those 10K a month so you can provide for your family in the way you want to. The investment is just 5K. Would you like to go with debit or credit? What works? And they say objection here. Now, we do the same thing every single time. And you would have heard this before. If you haven't, this is not something I invented. This has been around for years. Number 1, we're gonna diffuse it. Yep, that's no bother. No stress, easy stuff. Diffuse. Second thing we're gonna do is confirm. So first, diffuse, no stress, easy stuff. Confirm, just so I know, just to be 100% sure, just to see how I can help, however you wanna phrase it. In terms of what we've actually walked through today, do you feel that this can get you to XYZ goal? Is this the thing you feel like can get you to where you wanna be? That is the question you're asking. Now, there's 2 ways they go with this. Well, there's actually 3. Yes, no, maybe. If they say no, you're fucked. You messed up in the discovery because they don't believe the thing can get them to where they want to be. So no matter amount of objection handling ninja techniques is gonna help them overcome the fact that they don't actually believe in your product. Now, you need to understand why they don't think it can, but that is something that potentially is wrong with your offer. Now, if you've done your job right in the discovery, the answer should be yes. Yeah, I 100% believe this can get you to where you want to be. Now, they may say maybe, like I think it can, right? I hope so, right? We've got to challenge that uncertainty, right? You think it can? I guess in your mind, why would it not be able to get you there? Like, why do you feel you wouldn't be able to get to 10K a month? And then it's like, well, no, it's just the money. It's like, yeah, okay, money aside though. Like, put that to the side. Do you actually feel this can get you to where you want to be? Yes or no? Yes, I do. Like, if you came in, you did everything you need to do on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, would it get you to 10K a month eventually? Yes. Okay, cool. So you can go one or 2 ways. You can go down the negative, right? Why wouldn't it get you to where you want to be? Or you can go down the positive. Why do you feel like this maybe can get you to where you want to be? I sense a little bit of uncertainty. Where's that coming from? Something along those lines. Especially if they say hope. The word hope is disgraceful, because when was a business ever built on hope? Shout out Kurt, he used that line all the time. You hope? What was the chance of you getting to 10K a month if you rely on hope? How much of a strategy is hope? Oh, it's not one. Okay, cool. So the answer we want here is yes. Once we get this yes, we go down to 3. Why? What makes you feel like specifically this can get you to where you want to be? What in the program, from what we laid out, why do you feel this can get you to where you want to be? Now, I want them to highlight something like the accountability or the one-to-one coaching or this specific thing that you guys have that no one else has. Okay, cool. Number 4, difference. What difference would that make? Having that accountability, what would that allow you to achieve? Now, this gets them into a positive buying signal, a mindset of wanting to purchase because they're justifying it. It was like, yeah, well, if I had the accountability, I wouldn't fall off as much and I'd be able to get to where I want to be a lot quicker. Awesome. That is it. No matter what objection you get, whether it's think about it, money, fear, timing, partner, whatever it is, this is the first 4 things that you do. Because if we don't do this, you're handling an objection that may not be even real, right? Potentially, or you don't even really know what the objection is, because you're going and trying to handle a partner objection when they don't even really believe that it can get them to where they want to be. So what's the point? There is no point. This is essentially giving you permission to objection handle, essentially. Now that we've got that out of the way, we can go back to money. Now, money is gonna be fear or logistics. Fear will be like, it sounds great, but it's a lot of money. I have the investment, but it's a big risk. It feels like a risk. Those are obvious signs of like basically lack of certainty, which is just fear. Whereas logistics will be like, this all sounds amazing. I just need to move money around. I just can't do it right now. I need to wait till I get paid. Something along those lines. Now, logistics, easiest objection to handle in the world. If you mess up logistics, you are a goon. There's 2 ways. First of all, you need to get complete clarity on their financial situation. We do what's called an open wallet technique. Okay, cool. In terms of the investment, if we were able to break something down that made more sense for you, would you be open, willing, wanting, committed to getting started today to get on the path to 10K a month? Yes, 100%. Only accept yes. Okay, cool. Are you open to having an honest conversation around your specific financial situation just to see how we can help? That's how I go first. And they say yes. Okay, cool. Because we don't have cookie cutter payment plans that we can just dish out. It really depends on your situation. Even if you do, they don't need to know that. Doesn't matter. Cool. Agreed that it's literally just a logistical thing. Perfect. Then we can go into what is called the open wallet. So for you right now, they've agreed to having an open conversation. First thing is income. You want to stack these questions, the open wallet questions, in a way where it's easiest to hardest to answer. So income, how much are you actually making right now before tax? If you got that in the discovery, you could just ask, remind me, how much are you kind of bringing in month to month right now? Okay, it's 5K a month. Awesome. And then in terms of after you get robbed by the tax man, you've paid bills, gas, electrics, all that fun stuff, what are you kind of left with at the end of each month? Left over is gonna be 2K a month, let's say. Okay, perfect. Now another question we can ask, and in terms of like checking and savings, what do you have split between the 2? Now, the reason I want to get clarity on this is people will say like, oh, I can't afford it. And they've got like 15 grand sat in a savings account, but they're just sat there like, oh, I don't really want to use that. But when you help them see, it's like, well, look, you're investing into yourself so you can get to where you want to be. Again, that's just going to be uncertainty and kind of loop back to fear. They're going to take the steps. So let's say they have 3K in the checking and savings. This is a 5K product, let's say. Awesome. And then last thing, you can kind of make a joke. You don't have like millions in crypto, in like stocks or cash under a mattress, something like that. And they'll most likely say no. And then we know, and we have a clear understanding and a picture of their financial situation. So essentially from there, you just build out a plan that makes the most sense for them. Let's say they've got 3K saved and they keep 2K a month. Awesome, man. What we'll do is we'll put 3K down or 2.5K down if they're in a position where, get clarity on that 3K. Is it everything to your name or is that set aside to invest? Oh, it's set aside to invest. I wouldn't be homeless. Awesome. Let's do 3K today, get you set up, put you inside the program. And then next month we can cover the remaining 2K. Sound good? Yes. Awesome. Deal done. Closed. That's it. If they say no to that, then it's fear. That is what it is. Now fear, money fear, is an interesting one. It really is. It's always gonna be, I have the money, but. So we wanna get clarity on where the uncertainty lies. So where is that uncertainty coming from? Because remember, you've already got their buy-in that they feel like this can get them to where they wanna be. So they want to buy, we just need to help them overcome that fear. So let's say, for example, we go through the entire process, diffuse, confirm, why, what's the difference? And say, yeah, man, like, what do we need to do to put yourself in the best position after that? Oh, it's just a lot of money. Okay. Cool. Get clarity, get confirmation. I learned this thing from a previous mentor called full, partial, none. So in terms of the finances, is it a case where you have the full amount, there's just a bit of kind of hesitation or uncertainty? You've got part of the amount and we need to figure out a way to break it down into more digestible chunks, or like you've got none of the amount and one of us is gonna have to go and rob a bank or, you know, stick some grannies up or something like that and make a bit of a joke out of it. Ha 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 ha. Again, in the finances, people get very uptight and tense. We want to bring out and diffuse that tension here. It's nothing, it's not a big deal at all. We're just having a conversation, see how we can help you out. Now, let's say they go with like, I have the money, it's just, you know, it's just a lot of money. It's just a big risk. Okay, awesome. Just walk me through that. Like, in what way? Like, how does that make sense in your mind? Allow them to elaborate and explain why they feel like it is a big risk. And it will be something like, well, I've never done something like this before, which is easy to handle. It's like, absolutely, man. You're here for the first time and I get that it's scary. At the same time, do you expect to see different results if you're taking the same actions if you just continue doing the same things? Well, no, I don't think so. Okay, awesome. So what is the most uncomfortable thing that you could do to put yourself in the best position? And let's say they say, well, invest. They truly believe it can help them get to where they want to be. Brilliant. We'll just process the investment. I know it's scary. We can get you set up. A lot of the time they'll compare it to another purchase. That's like a car. And they're not thinking in a way that makes sense for them to get to where they want to be. It's like, yeah, I mean, you could buy a car for $5,000. I don't know what kind of car you'd be getting. But at the end of the day, if you went and bought that car or you went on that trip, what kind of position is that going to put you in? Is that going to get you further or closer to your goals? Well, further away. Okay, cool. So what's the biggest thing preventing you from taking the action right now, right here, right now? Some people, they just can't fathom putting that amount of money down. We have to get them thinking in the identity, the version of themselves who they want to become. When we look at John 2.0, who's making 10K a month, he's providing for his family, what do you feel he does in this moment, right here, right now? Does he let the fear and the uncertainty control him? Or does he stare it in the face and overcome it and take the steps? Again, we have to normalize, we have to allow them to see that this is normal. You're meant to be fearful, you're meant to be uncertain, this is totally normal. But you have a choice with what you do with that fear. Do you want to give into it? Allow that little devil voice on your shoulder to continue making the decisions for you? Or do you want to actually overcome it and put yourself in the best position? Some other analogies you can use for fear, if they're like, oh, it's just a lot of money, it's kind of broke v poor. The broke person's mindset is someone who looks at, you know, what they can't do with the money or focus on their limitations. Whereas a poor person, they might be in a position where they are poor, right? They physically don't have the money, but they look at things, you know, how can I get to where I want to be? Because we want them operating from the version of themselves who's actually doing the thing and getting the results that they want to achieve. So anything to do with fear, doubt, uncertainty, we got to get the root cause of what's behind that. Like, why are we actually uncertain? Is it a fear of you not putting in the work because you've never done something like this before? Is it just a fear of failing because you've never done something like this before? Is it a fear of like investing because you don't believe in us? Is it a fear of you as the salesperson, right? And then once we overcome all of those, then we can ask for the sale. Now, a big thing about objections is just asking for the sale. Okay, cool. What do we need to do? Right here, right now. Put you in the best position. You want to get started? You want to get set up? When they're on the edge, sometimes silence, shut the fuck up and just ask for the sale. That's kind of counterintuitive, but it makes sense, right? They're like, yeah, I mean, you're right. You can see them turn it over, debating in their own head. What do we need to do? Hold the silence, stay in the uncomfortability of the silence and close the deal. Number 2, I need to think about it. If you've been in the space for any amount of time, you'll know that this is not an objection. People do not need to actually go away and think about something, right? That's not how it works. More time, this is just fear. This is doubt. This is uncertainty. So what do? The 4-step process. Again, same thing. Diffuse. No stress. Absolutely no worries. You can take the next 45 years to think about it if you really want. You hear this all the time. In terms of what we went through, do you genuinely feel this can get you to where you want to be? Yes. Why? What makes you say that specifically? The accountability, the coaching, whatever. Okay, cool. Then the question we're going to ask is to do with time and space. So what is the biggest reason that's causing you to want to put time and space between making this decision? Because what you need to understand about or think about it is that there is something they want to go and think about. Now, we're not going to ask, well, what do you need to think about? Because it's like, just mull it over, go over it, take some time, blah, 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 sit on it, digest it, make a couple jokes. It's not a steak, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean digest it? They need to think about it. They need to think about, what does that mean? What does that mean? It means that there is something that they are not 100% certain on. So they are looking for certainty every time. It's always certainty. with the think about it. Now, whatever comes after this is the real objection. After you get, what's the biggest thing that's causing you to want to put time and space between actually making this decision? Because you truly believe it can help, it can get you to X, Y, Z. This is where you get the real objection, which majority of the time is going to be fear. Right? They're fearful, they're uncertain, they want to delay making a difficult decision because it's easier to just fall into the same way of thinking that they've been using, which has got them these results, which is why they are the way they are. And obviously they're wanting to change, but there's that little devil on their shoulder who's saying, just take some time. Don't make this decision right now. I don't want to rush this. People will say that all the time. I don't want to rush this. I don't want it to feel like a rash decision. The way that I would handle that is, well, in terms of you getting to 10K a month, you mentioned you've wanted that for 5 years. So in what way would this be a rash decision if you've wanted that for 5 years? Make it sound a bit dumb. If I offered you the ability to buy a Ferrari worth 500 grand for 10 grand, would you need time? No. Okay. And then I'd summarize it. It sounds like you're just looking for a bit of certainty. Like, that's it. You just want to be 100% certain. Well, yeah, I'm looking for certainty. Okay, awesome. Then we can go into the certainty here. Now, the thing about certainty is they're never going to be 100% certain on anything. And we can almost offer that perspective. So, well, what are you actually going to be 100% certain on? Are you 100% certain that you're not going to step out of your house today and get hit by a bus? Like, are you 100% certain? No. The only certainty I know is that eventually one day you will die. That is it. If you're looking for 100% certainty, you're never going to find it. From that perspective, we can then go into, again, their identity. The version of you who's at 10K a month, who's crushing it, who is where he wants to be. Does he wait to have 100% certainty, which he knows he's never going to come? Or like, what would he do in this moment? People love, and the reason that works so well is that people give better advice to other people than themselves, right? So in this example, it's another version of them. It's still another person. What do you think he would do? Oh, well, I think he would do it. Why would he do it? Get them to justify. Why would he do it? Oh, because he's going to put him in a better position. Okay, cool. So what do you need to do? I need to do it. And then you could go down the whole route of, importance. How important is it for you to get to XYZ, right? Oh, it's very important. Okay, cool. Awesome. Good to hear. So importance, then we go into responsibility. Who's actually responsible for you getting to 10K a month so you can put your family in the best position possible? Oh, it's me. Yep. Perfect. What's the consequence? Like, if we don't overcome this uncertainty, if we allow this fear to control us, where are we going to get to? Where's that going to lead us? In the same position. Are you willing to settle for that? No. Why not? Because I can't keep doing this. I can't keep going again. I can't keep on this hamster wheel. If you've done your job in the discovery, you would have a powerful why and a gap and where they want to be and where they are now, and urgency. And we're just bringing that up again here to where the last thing is just something as simple as commitment. Now, I love the commitment question so much. It's so easy and it slaps so hard. Are you actually committed to getting to 10K a month? And they're going to say, yeah, I'm committed. What is your definition? What's your definition of commitment? The majority of the time, they'll say something like doing what's required, doing whatever I need to do. Okay, cool. So you truly feel we can help, one, and you're committed to getting to where you want to be. You're going to do whatever it takes. What do we need to do right here, right now to put yourself in that best position? Go for the close, and you should close it from there. That was a little bit more than just to think about it, because again, the think about it is a smokescreen for uncertainty. Because when people are uncertain and they don't 100% know, they like to push things off and delay. You do it all the time. I've done it, right? When you're not 100% sure of something, you want to just kind of do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. It's a bit too much of a headache and a ball ache for me to combat right now and head face to face. So I'm just going to do it tomorrow. You're just uncertain, or there's a reason you're delaying. What is the reason? Oh, it's uncomfortable. Huh. Interesting. Is uncomfort a bad thing or a good thing? How long have you been comfortable? How's that serving you? So many different ways of thinking. We've got to understand, how is this person thinking? Why is it not serving them in the way that they want to? Number 3, the partner. Now, the partner is, in my opinion, one of the most misunderstood objections. Again, first thing we're going to do is we're going to get clarity if they feel that this can help. Yep, cool, perfect. Why? This. Awesome. What difference is that going to make? Perfect. When it comes to the partner, I just need to run this by the why. I just need to speak to my business partner. Now, wife and business partner, or husband and business partner, different things. Hopefully, you don't get many business partner objections, because you get clarity if you're selling something where they may have a business partner, like it's a real estate venture or B2B or something like that they are the full sole decision maker in the discovery. That is something you can pre-handle by getting clarity. Awesome. When it comes to making this decision, I know you mentioned like we a few times. That's a signifier that they have a business partner. Who is we? Oh, it's me and my wife. Awesome. Is she involved in the business? Or is she more like a cheerleader cheering you on from the side? Oh no, she's just a cheerleader. Awesome. We know this guy can make the decision. If it's a business partner, yeah, I know. Oh yeah, my business partner's involved. They're actually going to be one of making the decision with me. Okay, perfect. I'm rescheduling that call. I'm not having a conversation with you if you're in a position where there's someone else who needs the information. And it's not because I don't want to have a conversation with you. It's because they need to know, and I'm going to be able to give them the information, and we're all going to be in the same place, same time to be able to give that information. So let's find a time and we can jump on as a 3 if it's really that important, or for you guys to scale your business to this, or whatever it is. So that's how I'd kind of handle partner in the first place. Now, a lot of people out there will say that every single partner objection is like uncertainty, and it stems from fear. I don't necessarily always agree with that, because I've had some conversations with mainly women, to be honest. It's not exclusively women, but mainly women, where it's not their money. If it's not their money and their husband or wife is going to be paying for it, you need the husband's buy-in majority of the time. Now, if it's purely that, right, their husband is the one who's paying for this, like, oh, I need to speak with him. Oh, how come? Well, he's actually paying for this. Like, he's actually the one putting any all the cash. I don't have any cash. He's gonna be paying for it. Perfect. Awesome. Makes sense. We can then get a little bit more clarity. Like, are they supportive? What does your husband or wife think about you actually getting to XYZ? Do they know you're on this call? No, they don't. Issue. If it's purely a case where the opposite partner will be paying for it, 3-way call every time. I personally, for me, if my wife was going to spend 5, 6, 10K, or future wife on a program, I would not want her doing that without my say so if I'm the one paying for it, right? So I get that, that makes sense. But there is a way to make it so you and the wife or you and the husband are on the same side of the table when you're speaking to the third party, the person who's actually funding it. And we want to get clarity here. Like, okay, cool. So if your wife said no, if your husband said no, would you be able to do it? Well, no, I don't have any money. I need them to do it. Okay, so it's not a question of like, you just want their go ahead, you just want their say so. It's actual permission. Like, you need them to do it. If they say no, you cannot do it. Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. Jumping on another conversation. But still, we need to get clarity from them. Like, they're 100% in. You can see this in their tone. Like, no, I'm 100% in. It's just a case of getting them on board. Okay, perfect. That will be a lot rarer than other partner objections. The main partner objection is just wanting to deflect responsibility. They want to deflect responsibility onto their partner because it's easier for them to say, oh, well, I need to speak to my wife. She has to make the decision. In my opinion, if a man gives a wife objection, he's a bitch. That's my opinion. I would personally wouldn't go and ask my wife, because at the end of the day, it's my responsibility to lead the family in terms of what we're doing. So if you have to ask your wife, I get like, hey, look, there's teams and we make decisions like this together, but you are the one who wants to lead your family, correct? Yes, okay, cool. What do leaders do? Do they rely on other people to make decisions, or do they make the decision what's best for the team, for the family, for the tribe, where they make the best decision? Okay, what's the best decision you can make right now? Way of going about the partner. Now, it's important with a partner objection to get clarity on their name. Like, it's always awkward saying like, oh, what does the wife think? What does the husband think? Get their name. What is their name? Let's say it's Sarah. Sarah, the wife. Awesome. Now, what does your wife do for work? What does she do? Now, the reason we want to get her profession is we want to see if like, is she actually involved in the business in terms of like, is she like a successful trader? If you're selling a trading mentorship and you're like, oh yeah, my wife's actually a trader, then she has a legitimate opinion on it. Whereas if the wife is a nurse, she doesn't know anything about trading. And then we can offer a perspective. Let me ask, like, if your wife is about to put a needle in someone's arm as a drip, would she come and ask you how to do that? If it's okay to do that? Get your permission? Or would she just do it? Well, no, she would just do it. Right, okay, cool. So in what way is it fair on your wife to put the responsibility of making this decision when she's not an expert in this field, she's not a successful trader, with all due respect to her, I know you love her, but how is that fair? And you'll get pushback here a lot of the time. Some guys will say, well, no, you're right, it's not fair, it's my responsibility. But some people will say, well, look, like, it's just, we're a team, I wanna make sure she's on board and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, we need to allow them to see that they are going to be the leader in this relationship. The way we can ask that is, who is in charge? Who's in charge of getting the family to 10K a month? Who is that? And the guy will always say, me. Or him. Perfect, great. So you're in charge, you can make the responsibility, you can take the decisions. Perfect. So even a question of like, if you're going to be the one making the decisions in the future and you're the one responsible, why would you not be, or how come you wouldn't be responsible for making the decisions from the start? Why would your wife be opposed to this? Even a question of like, what kind of impact when you do get to 15, 20K a month, what's that gonna do for your wife? How's that gonna benefit her? Oh, she'll be over the moon, I'll be able to spend more time with the kids, da 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 da. Whose responsibility is it? It's where you go down the binaries, the yes, no's, right? Are you committed? What if we don't do it? Whose responsibility is it? How important is it? Oh, it's my responsibility, it's super important. Great. So as the leader in your family, this is where you empower them if they're a guy. As the leader, what do you need to do to put yourself and your family in the best position? Now, if they keep pushing back and there's so much rebuttal and they just can't do it, that is when I would go for a down payment. Now, a down payment is more of a shit test than anything, because it's just commitment to them actually taking the steps that they need to take, right? So look, like I get it, I'm gonna do it, I just need her okay, I'm gonna do it, perfect. In that position, what we typically do with this is I wanna be able to challenge you enough to be able to make some form of commitment today. Well, what does that look like? So we'd essentially do a down payment of usually like 10% or whatever the ticket price is. So we'll do a down payment of $500. Now, what that shows me, and more importantly shows yourself, is that you are actually committed to doing what you need to do, put yourself in a position to get to 10K a month. It's just a case of getting the wife on board, and you can go to her and say, hey, look, Sarah, you've known I've wanted to get to 10K a month so I can provide for the family, take care of you, retire you, do all these things, right, for so long. And I found something that I truly believe and feel can get me there. Now, I committed $500 down to this because I truly believe we can get there, and I wanted to take that responsibility, but I wanted to just confirm and just let you know beforehand because I love you and out of respect and all that good stuff. If they're super buoyant, can I challenge you enough to do that? If they say no, then it's uncertainty. And the partner objection is a smoke screen because they're not 100% certain that they can get to where they want to be, right? And we need to re-loop back into fear and doubt and uncertainty, why they feel like it would be able to get them. Why do they want to put time and space? Again, they've taken in the reframe, they're willing to take responsibility, they're willing to commit, but now they don't want to put anything down. It's like, we got to call that out at that point. Right? You say you're committed, but when it comes to actually making the commitment, you're hesitant. Like, how come? What is that? Why? And if they say yes, then it may just be a case where that is the case. Now, a lot of partnerships or marriages, they'll have a certain rule where like, oh look, if we're over this amount of money, we need to speak to each other. I get it, you have rules in your family, no problem, no stress whatsoever. What is that number? Let's say it's $500. Shit test them, down payment. Okay, cool, we'll do $500 now, and then we can speak as a three, right? Let's say you've still gone through, again, the responsibility, you've got clarity on their entire situation. It's important to understand and note that when it comes to partner, mainly for a man giving a wife objection, it is going to come down to responsibility, especially in B2C. Because if they are not where they want to be, their wife is the one who's missing out because of it. Their kids are missing out. So are you doing this for your partner or to your partner? How would your wife feel when you're at this position? Does she support you? What do you feel she'd want you to do in this position? Does she trust you? Do you trust yourself? Yes, yes, yes. If all those things line up, awesome, man. What is the action that we can take together to put you and your family in the best position? Take the step. Perfect. Last objection, which has kind of been the theme throughout a lot of these, especially on B2C, is going to be fear. Now, there's a few different types of fear. There's fear of failure, like they don't actually believe in themselves that they're gonna pull through, so investing wouldn't make any sense because they're gonna give up. They're fearful of not making it work. Fearful of being scammed. Wow, right? Like I've invested in things before and I've been scammed. And that's a different thing. Fear of you as a salesperson, they don't trust you, they don't buy into what you said, right? Kind of relates to fear of being scammed, right? Those are the real main three types of fear that you're gonna get. Fear of failure, in my opinion, is the biggest one. Because at the end of the day, on a B2C call where you're talking to a consumer, they wanna change their life, they wanna get to 10K a month. They're trying to achieve something they've never achieved before, and they've probably tried a few times before, so they're scared, right? They're like, oh fuck, I've not done this before. Like, am I just gonna be investing and it's gonna be a big waste of time? That's where we help them overcome and allow them to see a different perspective. Now, fear of failure is a real fun one. Once we get them to admit like, oh shit, like it's just like, okay, you're just fearful of failure. It's like, oh, what if it doesn't work, right? These are kind of signals that it's fear of failure. A way I love to overcome this is getting them to see that they're already failing now. So when it comes to fear of failure, are you succeeding right now when it comes to your goals of 10, 15, 20K a month, whatever their goals are? No. Okay. So by definition, if you are not succeeding, what are you doing? Failing. They're failing, right? Does it make sense to be fearful of something you're already doing? And a lot of the time you'll get responses like, oh fuck, I've never thought of it like that. I've never thought of it that way. Another way of overcoming that kind of fear of failure, allowing them to see that it doesn't really make sense for them to listen to fear, is identity, right? The version of you who's at 10K a month, does he listen to fear of failure? No. Why not? Because, you know, he's competent, he does this. Okay, cool. Whose responsibility is it for whether or not you fail coming inside this program? Because again, you've done the double bind, you make sure that they're committed, why, what they need to do, all the first 4 steps which we went through. We've allowed them and we've got them to see that it's their responsibility whether or not they see failure or see success. So whose responsibility is it to whether or not you fail or not? Well, it's mine. Okay, cool. Back down to commitment. Right now, this time, you're actually in a position where you're truly committed to doing what you need to do to get to 10K a month. Yes, okay. What's your definition of commitment? Doing what I need to do. Okay, cool. What do you need to do right here, right now to put yourself in that best position? Go for the close. A lot of fear of failure is going to be coming, almost putting an arm around them. Like, hey, look, like this fear of failure is actually just holding you back, right? Is listening to this fear and making decisions from this lens of fear. Is that actually serving you? No. Why? Okay, cool. Does it make sense to continue doing something you know isn't serving you? No. Like, you'll notice that a lot of these objections, like, you can kind of rattle through them pretty quickly and ask for the close. This is mainly because you've done such a good job in discovery and you've had an open and honest conversation. If your objection handling is lasting 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes, sometimes it happens, like, you know, they get in there and then they pull back, or you get in there and they don't want to do it for whatever reason. But if that's a consistent theme, you're moving too slow in the objections. You need to be more direct. You need to ask more yes/no questions, and you need to push them to close, right? And it's not pushing them so that they pay you, it's pushing for them to take the steps to get to where they want to be. You're not doing it to them, you're doing it for them. Now, the scammed objection is a very, very interesting one. Like, I'm fearful of you taking my money and running off to Mexico. Now, do they actually believe that that is going to be the case? No, they don't, right? They know you're not actually going to scam them, but it's they like hiding behind something like, oh, there's so many scams out there online. So you want to get clarity. Have you been scammed, right? Have you actually been scammed personally? No, I haven't. Now, if they have, we want to get clarity on how much did you invest? When was that? This is stuff you should get in the discovery, by the way. If you miss this, in terms of what they've tried before, you're cooked. But if you follow the 5-step process, which I'm going to lay out after this, is a little bonus section in terms of how to pre-handle. When was that? How much did you invest? Have you done anything since then? What was it? Were there other people in the mentorship/program who were able to see success? If there were, it shows us that it was them that wasn't able to put in the effort. What's the difference between those guys who saw success and you? Oh, well, they put in the effort. Okay, cool. So it's not that you've been scammed before, you didn't put in the effort. So you put it back onto them. Now, if they have legitimately been scammed, like, yeah, I invested into something, it was X amount of dollars, and I haven't, and like they took my money and ran, like I didn't hear from them, they kicked me out of everything like a month in, blah, blah, blah. First of all, I'm sorry to hear that. It sucks to hear that. Honestly, it's a good thing, right? And they're gonna be like, what? Like, everyone I know has invested into something which they didn't feel like gave them the results. Now you have two kind of, and this way you share a perspective, you have two opportunities or options with that. You can look at that and say, look, I've been scammed once, so I'm never gonna, trust again. I'll never invest in myself. Or be like, okay, cool, I know what to look for. I know what some red flags are. Up until this point, which perspective have you been using? Well, the first one, cool. And then I get a question of belief. Do you actually believe that there are coaches out there who will enable you to see success, who will give you the tools, who aren't gonna do what that last guy did? Yeah, of course, otherwise they wouldn't be there. Okay, cool. So you shared with me that this fear of or being scammed again has kind of set you back. Now there's a couple ways we can go about this. How much have they lost by allowing that fear to hold, or allowing that kind of bad experience, that sour taste? How much have they left on the table? If their goal is 10K a month, they got scammed 2 years ago and they've been wanting to, let's say it's been 18 months, they've left 180 grand on the table because they haven't been able to overcome that fear. And you show them, you basically highlight to them, like, you holding on to this fear is not serving you at all. And if you truly believe we can get you to where you want to be, like, what do you need to do? And I know it's going to be fearful, but you see the results, you see the testimonials, right? Everything's there. And then fear of you is an interesting one. It's a bit of a tricky one. That's more of you as the sales rep. If you're a man of integrity or woman of integrity, you won't get this. Like, fear of you is not really a common objection in my mind, because they should be bought into you and your way of thinking and your way of going about things. Like, if someone's scared of you, I don't mean like scared of you, they're like, oh my God, this guy's terrifying. They don't really believe what you say. You don't really have a leg to stand on within the conversation. So you're kind of cooked. Now I'm gonna give you a little bonus section on pre-handling. The truth is, when it comes to pre-handling, is that the best closers do it, right? Whether they're like consciously being like, yeah, I'm pre-handling objections, or they're seeking out as to why this person is the way they are and they're not in the position they want to be. Because whatever the reason is that they are not where they want to be, will be the reason that they give the objection again after the price drop. It will be the reason that they don't move forward. So there's 5 steps. This is my 5 sales made stupid simple, however you want to call it, that I got from Kurt as well, is, where are they now? Where do they want to be? Timelines. How long have they wanted it for? And this is where you find the objections. Number 4, why hasn't it happened yet? And number 5, why now? Now, this question here, number 4, why hasn't it happened yet? That is where you will find objections. 100%. We get where they are. We know why they don't want to stay there anymore. We have an understanding. We built that gap. We know where they want to be. We know they've wanted XYZ for 5 years. Why has it not happened yet? This is a hard-hitting question that you can ask within your conversation. What have you tried? Why have you not tried anything? And you're gonna get the internal limitation, especially on a B2C call. They might even say they've been scammed before and you can pre-handle and you can go based off of what we just went through. They've been fearful, they've not taken the steps. What's that cost them? Holding on to this fear, is it serving them? So many questions you can ask there. So when you find the limitation in step 4, my handwriting's getting worse and worse as we go. When you find that limitation, do not just brush past it. We need to overcome it there and then and get them thinking and operating from a different perspective. Otherwise it will come back up at the end and the price is on the line and it will be a lot more difficult to handle. Whereas if we get the limitation early, within the first 20, 30 minutes of the conversation, we can make the entire rest of the conversation about that limitation, and they're not going to allow fear to control them anymore. And the version of them who they want to be, they wouldn't do that. And that is where you get calls where at the end they're like, look, I know I'm fearful, but we've already gone through this, like I'm ready to do it. It wouldn't have been an objection as close if you weren't skilled enough to pre-handle. So that is the 4 objections, the 4 main objections, and the step-by-step process on what you need to do before or after they give those objections every single time. I hope you found this video useful. The biggest takeaway I want you to get from this video is that the objections do not come up post price drop. That's where it is technically an objection, but the obstacle, the limitation, the fear, the doubt, the uncertainty, all the pre-handling that you can do, that is done in the discovery if you are good. My opinion is that a good discovery is more important than being able to really close or objection handle well, because it gives you the leverage. You can run a second discovery almost post price drop to put yourself in the best position possible. And if you run a discovery properly, most of this, of what I've gone through, becomes a lot less relevant and it becomes a lot shorter, quicker. You get the buy and you get the tie down, you get the fear, you're like, cool, what do you need to do? We need to do it. Okay, sick, let's go. Handle all of the objections there. Now, if you want to see what this framework looks like on a real coaching call, there is a video on this page from one of my one-to-one students that I work with called Adam, reviewing one of his calls live. Go check that out. And if you want the full framework, the mindset, the 5-step discovery system in more detail with what we just laid out, there is a full free course on my page on the channel as well. Go check that out, go consume it. And if you want the coaching, if you want to get to where you want to get to quicker, have the right support, the call reviews, the offer board, all that fun stuff, then a new standard is in the description. Go check that out. I appreciate you watching. Let me know your biggest takeaways, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will see you in the next video.